Hey folks, blue chip college football recruits often turn into cow chips by the time they get to college. Helmets Off is on. All right, welcome to the show. Scott Mitchell, your host here. National Letter of Intent Day, signing day, the second signing after the first signing, after the pre-signing, happens the second Wednesday of every February. And everyone's talking about all the blue chip players, the 4-star, the 5-star, who had the best recruiting class, who didn't have the best recruiting class. And the reality is, it doesn't always pan out the way you think. A lot of history, a lot of proof actually verifies this fact. You look at schools like Washington in the Pac-12. Washington is actually considered probably a top 10 program in the country. And Chris Peterson often says, I don't want the blue chip players all the time. I'd rather have a player that fits in our program, that fits what we do, rather than have a guy who actually is supposedly the second coming of whatever and the savior of the program. Mac Brown, who was actually at Texas, got blue chip player after blue chip player. Basically, when you're Texas, you're going to get the best players in the entire country. And you know what that led to for him? He lost his job. Of course, he won a national championship along the way, but it just doesn't always play into, yeah, you're going to win. Alabama, of course, they have blue chip players, but guess what? They don't win every national championship. And then you have coaches like Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State. And he goes, I don't look necessarily for blue chip players as well. He's won Rose Bowls, he's won Big Ten championships, because he looks for and targets players that he feels like have an upside. The problem a lot of coaches feel is that these players are so overcoached sometimes in college, so overprepared that they've reached their potential by the time they get to be seniors in high school. And they've vetted themselves out as, yes, I'm the best player at my position right now, but what you're seeing right now is my top level. It's as high as I could possibly go. University of Utah had Jack Tuttle, who was considered the highest rated recruit ever in the program. Where did he end up? He didn't even make it through his first year of college and transferred. And I think is like at Indiana now. I don't even know if he's even at Indiana. All too often, these players who transfer early tend not to have very successful careers. And I really believe that. I believe that a lot of players actually work so hard in high school and it's all they do, and they get everything out of their bodies that they don't have anywhere else to go. And of course, there are other factors that sometimes they get into a program where a coach changes. Sometimes they get into a program where they miss home. Or it's not the right fit, or there's 5 or 6 guys ahead of them, and there's never a chance for them to actually play. And all too often, these great blue chip players really turn into duds. In all reality, if you talk about USC in the Pac-12, they should win the conference every year. Every year they should win the conference. They get the best talent. If you're a kid in Southern California, you want to go, or really most of California, you want to go to USC above any program in the entire state. There's 38 million people in California. It's one of the richest pools of football talent in the country. And yet, and they've had okay success under Clay Helton, but certainly they've struggled, and they get talent. I mean, they get the best players, and you salivate on how good these players are, but they don't always work out. So, everyone take with a grain of salt. If your football program had a crappy recruiting class, or you're not ranked anywhere, or you didn't get any blue chips, you didn't get any potato chips, you didn't even get anything, you didn't get a star, don't worry. Worry about or hope for, and it happens a lot, these players actually have talent, and they develop it, and they grow as they get older. I'll give you a great example. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wasn't even recruited out of high school. He went to junior college. He grew a lot when he was in junior college. He goes to Cal. He plays for a couple of years at Cal, and now he's considered one of the most elite quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe if not NFL history. So it doesn't mean that much today. I know everyone's excited and everyone has this fanfare. We got the greatest recruiting class of all. Doesn't really mean anything. All right, Helmets Off is now off. You can text helmets to 65537. Go to those social sites on Facebook, Helmets Off Podcast, and also tweet us at the Helmets Off Show. Love to hear from you. Love reviews. Be smart. Dial us in on that phone of yours. And until then, we'll catch you soon.